what is the procedure going to be if they just refuse the signatures or try some type of chicanery? Even that will be a victory, because then it will beg the question, why are they refusing to do this, even when law says if we have these petitions, this happens?
Exactly. Home Rule Law 37 under the New York City Charter allows for this to take place. If they begin to refuse it, we are looking for legal counsel. We do have some legal counsel, but we're always looking for more legal counsel to ensure that if they do try to say, hey, this is invalid, that we will continue to pursue this. This will not be stopped. The very fact that so many people now are informed about it, so many people have already signed that petition. I mean, we're in a city of 8 million people. To have 68,000 plus signatures already signed saying we need new investigation, that just begs to say, hey, what if we had 100 petitioners or 200 petitioners going out showing New York City voters this petition? How many more signatures could we get? It shows that New York City understands what we were.
Yeah, what have you got? Story. What have you got? 80+% of New York. That's what the New York Times poll said. Do you believe we've been lied to about 9/11? 84%. That was 3 years ago. Absolutely. 3 years ago, 84% in a scientific poll. Look, we've won the war for 9/11 truth in that we've woken up the public. But the public all feels like they're by themselves. The public feels like they're the minority. We're the majority. And look at how more and more about government-sponsored terror comes out. And now the chief counsel of the 9/11 Commission comes out and says we made a deal with the Pentagon to lie about what really happened. I mean, we're this close to exposing these murderers. Manny, do you think the people that carried out the attacks ever thought that I would stand up, that you would stand up, that so many others would stand up and speak out?
I think they might have had that inclination, though I do want to say that they never knew the strength and the power of what we bring, and that's truth, and that's justice, and that's more than anything that they could ever throw up against us. The fact that we have over 60 family members that have already signed the statement of support, the fact that we have first responders and survivors signing our statement of support, that list is building every single day, every single hour. Okay, there are people that know what happened. They want a true investigation. You can't stop that. You can't stop liberty. This is true liberty. This is something that we were all conditioned to grow up with, to say, hey, you know what? You live in the United States of America, free America. Well, guess what? We have an opportunity now to really bring that to the public, to bring it to the voting booth, to bring it to where it's got to go.
Absolutely. Manny, briefly, tell folks about what happened with you, because you're lost family. You're able to go to these meetings, specifically the names of the meetings and dealing with these whitewashed kangaroo trials of supposed Al-Qaeda people from Gitmo. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. I'm actually going to send to you an article, Alex, and I just want to say to everyone listening to send articles in when these things happen, because this is news that needs to get out to the public. This is not something that the public hears about. We are way too much about celebrity and other related nonsense. The fact is, I was in a meeting with the Military Commission's prosecution team a couple of days ago, and we were sitting in a meeting in New York, and the Military Commission's prosecution team gave the family members that attended a list of different charges that are going to be brought against Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. And
because they want to say they've got your support. They want to be able to say in the media, oh, the family likes kangaroo trials, as if you're not for kangaroo trials and the end of freedom in America and the end of the Bill of Rights, you're with Al-Qaeda. Stay there, Manny. Tell folks what happened when we get back. This is amazing and important and newsworthy info. He's sending us an article in the next few days to post at Infowars.com. You'll hear it here first when we come back. This is Alex Jones. Have you heard of the Millionaire Patriot? Well, you should. He has a free handgun and 5 days of firearms training waiting for you. That's right. You can attend 5 days of world-class gun training at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute and secure a 30-state concealed weapons permit, all for pennies on the dollar. Plus, if you act fast, the Millionaire Patriot will give you a free Springfield Armory XD pistol in the caliber of your choice. I believe now is the time that you and your family need to be armed and trained to levels that exceed law enforcement and military standards. Front Sight provides such training without any boot camp mentality or drill instructor attitudes. This is real. Don't miss out. Secure a front sight defensive handgun course, plus a 30-state concealed weapons permit for pennies on the dollar, and get your free handgun. Go to frontsight.com today. That's FRONTSIGHT.com. Go to frontsight.com for your training and free gun. In the next segment, I'm going to jam a few of your patient calls in before Gilbert Griffin joins us with Balance the Transmission. Hey, just side issue before we get into this briefly, what you saw with the military commissions meeting is they try to legitimize the joke they're carrying out. Because you can't just stage the attack. You've then got to stage trials of innocent people, and that's now coming out. What do you think of it coming out? Obama's chief science advisor admitting the whole end game and sterilization and poisoning the water and taking people's kids and a planetary government. I mean, these people mean business.
They mean more than business, Alex. This is something that's been taking place well before even the Obama administration got into power. This has been taking place in our government, in the clandestine government that operates behind the public government that we are aware of. This has been taking place for decades, okay?
Yes.
I was in the military myself. I know what goes on. And the fact is that when we hear things on through the mainstream media, we have got to look at that critically. And we have got to go to the sources and find out what are they really telling us. And when I went into this military commission's hearing for the family members, I was already told by other family members that went there that, you know, they're going to just try to fluff it up and they're going to try to, well, you know what, Alex, it was a textbook example of what propaganda is. The verbiage that they used with the family members, the fact that they called people evil and they called the people that they were no good and that they were out to kill us and that they want to continue to kill us.
So in a supposed jury type situation, they're using terms like evil and bad and they're guilty.
Well, they're explaining to the family members. They give us a packet of the charges. They give us a number of documents that are going to support their case when they get to Guantanamo. They're defending the military commissions as opposed to going through federal courts. They're saying we have a very strong case. And, Alex, I'm going to tell you something. I asked questions that nobody in that room was asking, and I literally was shocked at how they couldn't answer some of these questions. On this list that they gave us, they mentioned a lot of issues when it comes to the 4 people that they're prosecuting, and then Mohammed Atta and the hijacker, alleged hijackers and related. And I see Osama bin Laden's name mentioned. So I asked the direct question, what evidence do we have against Osama bin Laden? There was a pause. And I want to tell you, this pause happened many a time through the questions I was asking.
And by the way, for those that don't know, the FBI doesn't even list him on the most wanted for 9/11. He is not even listed for 9/11.
Well, that was what was brought up because I had mentioned that. I said, what evidence do you have against him? They just got finished saying that the FBI helped them out tremendously, that they helped them out so much in gathering the evidence. I said, what evidence do you have against Osama bin Laden? I said, because the FBI website does not even mention that he's wanted for 9/11. Another great long pause. Now, let me tell you, a lot of people on the prosecution, you tried to answer at the same time. They got flustered, and they were saying, where did you hear that from? And where did you get that from? And I'm like, let me ask you this. How come Mohammed Atta, the transfer that he received from the ISI chief, about a year before 9/11, how come that's not mentioned in here? How come you're not bringing evidence into this case that would put foreign governments, in a position where, hey, they have to begin to answer questions what happened? They were silent, okay? They couldn't answer I asked them about Sybil Edmonds, Alex. When I asked them about Sybil Edmonds, I said, what about the evidence that she's brought up? Are you going to use this in the trial? They had the gall to say to every family member that they have no idea who Sybil Edmonds is. Meanwhile, she worked as a translator. These are people, and I'm going to tell you this, Alex. When I mentioned Sybil Edmonds, one of the gentlemen that was on this prosecution team went to the rest of them and said, mouth this. That's closed, meaning they knew exactly who she was.
Stay there. Back in 1 minute. This is key.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done has been right.